Podcast. This is episode number 64. I'm your host, Sahil, and as always, I'm joined by my brother, Nihal. How you doing, Nihal?
I'm doing pretty well, man. We just came back from LA, which was awesome. It was nice to be in the warm weather and see some family. It was a great Thanksgiving weekend.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was probably, the food. I love going to In-N-Out Burger. If you guys haven't been to In-N-Out Burger, you need to go there. And also, the day we had on the beach playing football and volleyball, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, especially my tremendous catches and my tremendous throws. I really made you on the football field.
You sound like Donald Trump.
Well, apparently that's the new cool thing to do. So, all right, why don't we get right into the soccer then? We talked about it in the last episode, but Bruce Arena was officially appointed as the USMNT head coach. Your first thoughts, Neil?
Well, we kind of knew this was coming. Like I said in the last episode, I just want to reiterate, yes, it's not the most exciting choice, but I think it is the best choice. Bruce Arena is already acclimated to the U.S. structure. He's acclimated. He knows about MLS. He knows the players in MLS. He's familiar with the U.S. national team. This is the perfect choice to get us to the next 18 months and into the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, he's had 5 NCAA titles, 5 MLS titles. He was a decent goalkeeper. I guess that has nothing to do with his coaching. But,
and also he took us to the quarterfinals of a World Cup, which is our best finish since 1930.
And you can't even really count that because there are less teams in the World Cup.
Exactly, and it was a different structure.
Now,
also, just side note, Sahil and I have been discussing leading up to the 2018 World Cup. It seems like there's a long way away, but really it's only a year and a half. We're going to be doing an episode for each World Cup, or we want to do an episode for each World Cup, starting with the first World Cup. Let us know if that's something you'd like to see, or if it's something you wouldn't want to listen to. just to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, that's a potential idea that we're toying with. But back to Bruce Arena. You know, he said it, and he's aware that the pressure is higher, and he said that he's grown as a coach since 2006. What do you think needs to be the expectation right now for the January camp and for the next World Cup qualifying games?
Well, the next World Cup qualifying games are must-wins. I think we need to get at least 4 points out of the next 2 against Honduras and Panama. As far as January camp goes, I'd like to see some new faces. I'd like to see Darlington Nagbe back in. I'd like to see Sebastian Lletget, Robbie Rogers, Benny Feilhaber, Dax McCarty, some of the players, Matt Hedges, Walker Zimmerman, who had great seasons in defense for FC Dallas. I want to see players who didn't get opportunities again under Klinsmann, and I want to see them being given an opportunity, as well as, maybe in those 2 matches, some sort of tactical plan in our January camp matches. That's what I would like to see, and that would be encouraging.
Yeah. And that technical director spot is still vacant. Do you think, and I guess this is just a statement coming from me, I think that it is going to be good to have a separate technical director and head coach, because I think we might have seen a few conflicts of interest in Jurgen's tenure.
Yeah, and conflicts of interest, maybe. I think just overall, it's a separate job. It's a different job. And Jurgen Klinsmann was supposed to be this Messiah type person to come into U.S. soccer and completely change the structure from the ground up, which is he aided with that process in Germany in the early 2000s, but he wasn't able to do it successfully. I think it is too much for one person to be a technical director and the U.S. Women's National Team head coach. So yeah, I'm excited to have those 2 jobs split. I have no idea who will take that job. I'm interested to see who's appointed in hopefully the near future.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we haven't talked much about MLS playoffs yet, but we're going to jump straight into it right now. Last Tuesday, we saw the Eastern Conference Final between the Montreal Impact and Toronto FC. Right away, Montreal went on the front foot and had the first 3 goals from Dominic Oduro, Mateo Mancosu, and Ayongo. And then in the second half, Toronto came back and got 2 back, one from Michael Bradley and one from Josie Altidore. The Josie Altidore one came first, But overall, I think it's safe to say that Toronto cannot look like this on defense if they want to capture this tie.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was watching on the plane to LA, and I turned it on in like the 9th minute. And then 1 minute later, Dominic Adura scores, and 2 minutes later, Matteo Mancosi scored. And Ignacio Piatti was great in this match. Montreal looked really good for the first 60 minutes. Then Toronto sort of started to attack. And they were able to get 2 goals back, and really all Toronto needs to do is win 1-0 or 2-1, and they're through. Of course, if it's 3-2, they go to overtime or extra time, and any other 1-goal win above that, Montreal would go through. The big story from this match was that it was delayed, though, because of the goalkeeper's the 18-yard box not being wide enough, which is ridiculous. I mean, it's a really bad look for MLS. So, but it was an exciting match. It was a really exciting match, and Montreal was popping. It's so cool to have this rivalry in an Eastern Conference final. It's the first time we'll have, no matter what, a Canadian team in the final, which is very, very exciting in my opinion. And Michael Bradley and Josie Altidore looked passionate, completely different than how they looked under Jurgen Klinsmann.
Yeah, it's true. They were fighting for the same cause. I think that they really looked like the most active ones in the second half. I mean, Giovinco did have the assist to Josie, but I would have liked to see a little more from him. But Toronto's defense in the first half, can we talk about Oyongo's goal? Okay. You know, he's a left back. He just dribbled like a long way coming from his own half and had so much space and just put in a weak shot and you know, Clint Irwin couldn't save it because he was kind of, you know, I don't know, flat-footed. But what was that? They cannot afford to do that again.
Yeah, the problem in this match was that Toronto started off with 3 in the back or 5 in the back or however you want to look at it. I think they were stretched a little bit thin. They have been playing the diamond for a lot of the season, which I think is more was better suited for them. And, you know, it was a complete breakdown on really all 3 goals. You know, Damoduro's fast, but it was just a quick through ball that set him through. So they definitely need to tighten up for the second leg, like you said. But there were some encouraging things in the second half. And if Giovinco, I mean, defenses are going to focus on Giovinco. And players like Josie Altidore, Michael Bradley, Jonathan Osorio, those guys need to step up and perform like they did in the last 30 minutes. And really, Toronto salvaged this match, and they might even be in control now because before the 2 goals, it looked like they were in dire straits. But like I said, all Toronto needs to do is win 1-0 now. And it's not an easy thing to do, but I'm pretty confident that they can do it, to be honest.
So you think they will do that?
I think they will win.
I'm gonna say 1-1 at Toronto. So Montreal goes through.
You think Montreal's gonna bunker down?
Yeah. Well, no. I think that Toronto is actually going to get a goal on early, and then Montreal is going to push late. And when they want to attack, they can be deadly. So I think they're going to actually get a late goal that is going to end up tying, but actually winning them the tie.
Yeah, and Toronto has to be careful because they will be pushing for that goal. But, you know, the speed of Damoduro is really, really difficult to defend against, especially on the counterattack. So hopefully for them, they can figure out how to deal with that.
All right, moving on to the Western Conference Final. Both legs have been played out already, but just to quickly recap the first leg that happened last Tuesday, since we haven't had an episode since then. So Kevin Doyle had the first goal for the Rapids to go up 1-0. It was just a deflected shot. And then Seattle comes back, rolled on, hits the post. Morris cleans it up. It's 1-1. Then Lodero goes down for a penalty in the second half. Mark Birch was the one who had a kind of a lazy challenge, and then Lodero finished off the penalty. That was 2-1, and then Seattle comes out in the second leg and scores 1 goal, 1-0 at home. Jordan Morris is the man. He came into the game with the flu, but yeah, he had a great shot. Nelson Valdez played a ball in, and he just dinks it over while sliding over the backup, Zach McMath, because as we know, Tim Howard could not play.
Right. I mean, but Zach McMath is Zach McMath is still a good goalkeeper, especially in MLS. But yeah, Jordan Morris is the man. He, I just said man twice. Jordan Morris is the man, though. He played through the flu. He scored a goal. It's the Jordan flu game of MLS. But yeah, overall, the problem for Colorado in this match, I think, was their inability to finish. They had 16 shots, I believe, in the first half without one on target, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
16 shots in the whole match. Excuse me, with not one shot on target. And it's been a problem for them this entire season. But coming into this match down 2-1 into Denver, where they haven't lost all year, you expected them to get the job done, but they weren't able to do it. Pablo Mastroeni came out. He wanted to press Seattle and press them high. And they were pretty successful for the most part. But a bad pass from Trevor Azira. Is it Trevor? Or am I thinking Trevor Ariza? Either way, Azira, he made a bad pass that sort of started the sequence that led to Jordan Morris's goal.
Yeah, like you said, Colorado did have a lot of chances. None of them were great. The one that comes to mind for me was Kevin Doyle having it on the left side and playing it across for Sebastian Letou. Right. There was just a miscommunication, and he didn't get to the ball. I think that they were just very predictable. It was just a lot of cross for Kevin Doyle and try to get him a shot. There was not a lot of creativity in the final third. And I think they looked best, but it might have been because Seattle was sitting back in the second half. After Marlon Hairston came on, he was an attacking presence, but still it wasn't enough, and he had no final product. By the way, did you know that Hairston is a cousin of LaMarcus Aldridge?
Really?
Yeah.
I've always
a lot of basketball today.
I've kind of always liked Hairston. But yeah, a couple of things you said there. I don't think Doyle had a great match today. He's not a great passer. And he wasn't really... So when he was asked to do that, he wasn't able to do it. And he also wasn't able to get the job done in the box, like you said. I think something that's kind of been lost is the suspension of Sam Cronin in the midfield. He did a really good job defensively for them when he was in there. And I think they would have done a lot better if he were not suspended.
What did you make of Jermaine Jones' performance in just this tie?
He was good. He was present. I think he did what he could do. Something that comes back into my mind is just a shot he skied over the bar. He was. That
was a decent effort off the corner. Yeah,
right,
volley.
Right. He wasn't. I don't think it was his fault that they lost. Is what I'll say, and it's Michael Azira, by the way, not Trevor Azira.
Yeah, I don't think Jermaine Jones is the type of player that can single-handedly, win a game for a team.
No, but what he has done is he's made teams better. And I think Sam Cronin was the reason why they lost. But overall, credit to Seattle. They were able to survive the high press from Colorado, and they were able to get the goal they needed. And really able to shut down Colorado's attack. They had a lot of shots, but none on target. So,
yeah, Seattle has never made an MLS Cup Final, but they always make the playoffs. So you have to feel happy for this team,
right? And no matter what, they have never made it. You're right. And no matter what, we're going to have a new MLS Cup champion, which is always exciting.
Yes. So. You're predicting a Toronto-Seattle final.
Yeah, and, I think that's what we've been building towards for the past few years, don't you think?
Yeah. I think, there's so much pressure and criticism on the franchises. They've spent the most money, but maybe it's finally starting to come around, and they'll go on a little dynasty here.
Right, and credit to Seattle. They fired Ziggy Schmidt halfway through the year. Mark Schmelzer takes it over, and he does a great job. A former Sounders player back in their USL days, and the former coach when they were in the USL, too. He takes over. They bring Nicholas Ladero in. He completely changes the complexion of this team. They have to go through the adversity of Clint Dempsey of missing for the last bit of the season there, and they're able to overcome it, and Jordan Morris has been a star and will continue to be a star in this league and hopefully for the U.S. national team going forward. So credits to Seattle Sounders. I don't think there's a more deserving franchise in terms of fandom. I know a lot of teams don't like them, or a lot of fans don't like them, but in terms of their fan passion, they definitely deserve to be there. And I'm excited. And, if Montreal wins and the MLS Cup Final is in CenturyLink Field, that would be incredible. So I'm kind of rooting for that, even though I picked Toronto. I think Toronto-Seattle would be the better matchup, to be honest. But, either way, it's going to be exciting. But
I think that those Seattle fans are really have heard enough from the Portland fans for the past year.
Exactly. So the other thing is Montreal quietly, they've been so good for the past few years, consistently in the playoffs. Obviously made the CONCACAF Champions League run to the final, and here they are up
without
after the first leg.
Showing up.
Yeah, without Drogba. Matteo Mancosu has been decent for them. He's on loan from Bologna, I believe. So,
yeah, he scored a couple of really good goals in the regular season.
Yeah,
good player.
And he, that Italian connection they have. A lot of people thought after Marco Di Vaio retired they would be pretty much done, but they've been able to rebound from that. And Ignacio Piatti has been excellent ever since he arrived in MLS.
Yes. All right. Speaking of Italy, we're going to move over to Europe, and we're both going to share a couple of stories and talk about European soccer. So my first story is Edin Dzeko. He scored a hat trick over on Thursday in the Europa League against Victoria Plzen, and then today, Sunday, he scored a brace against Pescara. He scored 17 goals in 18 games, all competitions for Roma. And he has been on fire. And last season, there was a lot of criticism. He was supposed to be the guy to change it all, and he didn't. But this year, he has a preseason, and he's doing excellently. And I'm just so glad that we have a real striker.
He has been excellent. And, we talked about it before last season. We thought, how much was it, 15 million euros they paid for Dzeko?
I think, I think it's 3 like initially and then plus 12 for the buy.
Okay. So somewhere around there. And we thought that was such a bargain, and he was going to light it up for Roma last season. And he didn't. He was very disappointing, especially under Rudy Garcia, I'll say, for the first half of the season. I think Spalletti sort of knew how to utilize him. I don't think he fit into Garcia's system, and finally being under the system for a longer Spalletti's system for a longer period of time, having that preseason, and having someone like Mohamed Salah, who I think is either first or second in in Europe's top 5 leagues for key passes this year. Having someone like that who can consistently get him the ball, especially with the loss of Miralem Pjanic, has been really good for Edin Dzeko, and I'm excited that he's playing so well because he really is a striker. He sort of played second fiddle to Sergio Aguero and Mario Balotelli in Manchester City, and good for him is all I can really say. I'm happy, and good for you too, because even though Roma have not been that great this season, it still is a Scudetto race. It's still possible for them.
Juventus lost today.
Yeah,
so
they lost to Genoa. So they're still right there in the thick of things. I think 4 points down.
Yes.
But they need to start winning the games they need to win.
Yeah. The thing about Dzeko also is that I don't want him to do too well. Like, if he continues this, he's definitely getting sold over the summer. We're just not at that level where we can retain this kind of. I
don't think so. I think he's right at Roma's level because Roma. I would say is maybe the second or third tier of club in Europe. I would put them second. They're a perennial Champions League team. They're always
financially maybe third, just because our stadium.
Fair enough. Unless a mid-table Premier League team gives him an insane amount of money, I don't see him going anywhere because I think the other teams where he could go, he wouldn't be the starter. So I think you'll be fine.
And he's also not like a modern forward in the sense that you can't just stick him up in a front three for Barcelona. Like it's not like that. He has to be the centerpiece.
Right. Exactly. The other thing is Diego Perotti's goal against Plzen. Victoria, how do you pronounce that? I have no idea.
Plzen. I've been saying Plzen. I don't know.
Victoria Plzen was incredible. The Rabana.
Number 9 on SportsCenter's top 10. I was so proud.
Well, no, Dzeko was number 9. Perotti was number 1.
Oh, did you say Perotti's goal? Oh, yeah, that was number 1, yeah.
Yeah, Perotti's. Yeah, but Dzeko was number 9, so that was his first goal was great, too. So good for him, though. Good for him.
All right, my next story, and this is mostly just a game breakdown, but Tottenham hasn't been a good week for them after losing the Champions League and heading to the Europa League again for I don't know how many times in a row now. They lost to Chelsea where they were up 1-0 after a great goal by Christian Eriksen in the 11th minute. Dele Alli had a good run and assist. Then Chelsea came back. Pedro had a fantastic shot and turn from a Matic assist in the 45th minute before halftime, and then shortly after that, Victor Moses gets it, and 2-1 Tottenham. It could have been a big win for them, or a big draw, because, they need to get points, but they also need to stop Chelsea from getting points if they want to stick in this title race. I believe they're 4th right now.
Tottenham's 5th. Because
okay.
Arsenal, I believe Arsenal won today.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah. Actually, I think either way they would have been 5th. But, yeah, Tottenham, not a great week for them. Like you said, knocked out of the Champions League. Hopefully they can recalibrate and focus on the Premier League now. But they're 7 points down Chelsea now. And it was a huge match in terms of the Premier League title race. Chelsea are now in first place by themselves with 31 points. They were my title pick before the season, remember? You thought I was crazy.
Wait, Chelsea was your title pick?
Yeah, you can go back and listen to the episode.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
you also thought I was crazy for putting Arsenal in the top 4. But
I didn't think you were crazy. I had them 5th.
Well, yeah, but
I had Chelsea, City, United, and Liverpool, right?
Did you have Liverpool that high?
Yeah, I had Liverpool 4th.
I remember having a big discussion about who should be higher, Arsenal or Tottenham, and I thought Arsenal should be higher.
I had Tottenham at 6. No, we were talking about Liverpool. In any case, you guys can go back and listen to our Premier League preview episode if you want to. But yeah, Tottenham, not been a great season for them, and we always knew it was going to be tough with the Champions League. And really, you look at their signings. Wanyama has been okay. Victor Janssen has been disappointing. Heung-min Son, who wasn't a new signing but has been playing well, has been great. I think they're really missing someone that can come off the bench like a Nasser Chadli. And consistently perform for them. And, they signed Moussa Sissoko as well. I don't think they really improved enough in this transfer window. And the teams around them did. Chelsea went out and got N'Golo Kante and David Luiz. Liverpool went and got Sadio Mane, who's been fantastic for them, and Joel Matip. Man City got Leroy Sané, Ilkay Gundogan, Nolito. Arsenal got Granit Xhaka, who seems to be a player they were missing, the type of player they were missing. United, obviously they're below Tottenham, but they made a lot of signings. But yeah, I just don't think. I think Tottenham can maybe turn it around and break into the top 4. I think it's going to be difficult for them to do so, though.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that if you're talking about Tottenham, their ambitions, if they want to take it to the next step as a take it to the next level as a club, it needs to be to qualify for the Champions League. But I think that in the end, that's what hurt them from doing that this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually being in the Champions League. But I mean, they can still they can still focus on. I would say treat the Europa League as kind of a secondary objective. Don't put too much stock into that.
But it might be their only way to qualify for the Champions League. So they can't completely ignore it, because Tottenham is a team that I think can win the Europa League. I think they're definitely amongst the top teams in the Europa League. Roma are still in it, so yeah. That'd be crazy. Tottenham-Roma final. I would love to see that.
I mean, that's assuming a lot of draw luck and whatever else.
I know. I'm just saying, I would love to see that.
Yeah,
and what's interesting? I saw a graphic that the top 2 spenders in terms of money in every single Champions League group went through except for Tottenham. So Tottenham was the only team who was a top 2 spender in their group and didn't make it through. So that's what happens when you drop £30 million on Moussa Sissoko.
Does that include sales or just spending?
I don't know. I would have to look into it.
In any case, yeah. Let's all hope, unless you're an Arsenal fan or any other Premier League team fan, really, that Tottenham can pick it back up.
Yep.
Okay, what is one of your stories?
All right, my story is Bob Bradley gets his first win for Swansea City in a 5-4 win against Crystal Palace. This game was crazy. Wilfried Zaha scores in the 90 minutes for Crystal Palace. They go up 1-0. Gylfi Sigurdsson scores an incredible free kick in the 36th minute to tie it up. Leroy Fer scores in the 66th minute and the 68th minute to go up 3-1. It looks like they're in control, but wait, James Tompkins scores in the 75th minute. Crystal Palace is down 3-2. Then there's a Cork own goal. It's 3-3 now, and then in the 84th minute, Christian Benteke takes the lead, and then super sub Fernando Llorente for Swansea City scores twice in stoppage time to win 5-4. Crazy, crazy stuff for Swansea City, and it looked like Bob Bradley was going to get his first win last week against Everton, but Seamus Coleman scored a header in like the 88th minute or something. Bob Bradley finally gets his first win for Swansea City. The first American Premier League manager in Premier League history to win a match.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Do you think that there's any chance, this is kind of a random thing, but do you think that there's any chance that he brings in Michael Bradley? I think Bradley will be pleased after he wins a title, if he wins a title, and then he can help Swansea.
I think, okay, I don't think he will. I don't think Bob Bradley will, because I think he still needs to win over the Swansea City fans. And, you know, he's already sort of like the American coming in under American ownership, bringing in his son to play. I mean, it doesn't matter if he ends up playing well. I don't see it happening. Not only that, I think Swansea City, they're relegation candidates this year. They're in 19th place right now. I mean, I think Michael Bradley can probably do better than that, to be honest. I think there's a chance Bradley goes back to Europe, though. I think there is absolutely a chance of that.
Yeah. Do you think that would be the best for his career?
To go back to Europe? Yeah, I think he can still improve. AC Milan has been something that's been thrown out, and I think that'd be a great move for him if he could get into the team. Milan, they are performing well now, though, so who knows?
Yeah.
They're in third place, right?
I want to say yeah.
Yeah, they are. They're even on points with Roma. Wow, the table is really heating up.
Does that put Napoli in fourth place then?
No, Napoli's in seventh place. Lazio is in fourth place with 28. Atalanta is in fifth place with 28 points as well. Torino in sixth place with 25. Napoli in seventh place with 24 points, but they've only played 13 matches, so that's one less than everyone ahead of them. Right. So if they win, they jump into sixth place. So they're still behind Atalanta and Lazio. Yeah,
there's a big game this weekend, actually, the derby between Roma and Lazio. It's going to...
Yeah, and I think, well, actually, you'll miss that because you have some school stuff you need to do, won't you?
Yeah, no, I'm going to try to fit it in there somehow.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to try to watch that match, so I think we should discuss it.
Yeah, on the next episode, yeah. All right, what's your next story?
My next story is Red Bull. Well, actually, that's not their official name, is it? Well, Leipzig, we'll say, won. They beat they're coming off a 4-1 win against Freiburg. Keita scored a great 30-yard strike in the second minute. Timo Werner has been absolutely fantastic for them this year. Has had a brace. He's tied for fourth in the Golden Boot race in the Bundesliga, and they are now 3 points above Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga table. They are in first place, which is absolutely fantastic. And Rasenball Sport Leipzig, that's their actual name.
Yeah, because Red Bull would be like illegal or
right.
They can't officially do that.
Right. That's why I was confused for a second. But
so, do you want Leipzig to win the title?
I want Dortmund to win the title.
Yeah, but
that seem more likely? I would rather have them win it than Munich, unless Julian Green does some stuff. But
yeah, people hate like the corporate part of Leipzig and the fact that
right. They've bought their way to the top.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's always good. Competition is always good. And I think Bundesliga is a league that needs some competition at the top. And, Dortmund are in 7th place. They're 9 points behind Leipzig. Hertha Berlin, who knows? They're in 3rd place right now with 24 points. 6 points behind Leipzig.
It's Pulisic's fault.
Yeah, it's definitely his fault. He was benched this weekend and they lost.
Oh, yeah. Also, can we talk about during the week in the Champions League how Pulisic didn't score a single goal of the 8 goals scored by Dortmund?
Did they score 8 goals?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the most goals scored in a Champions League group stage.
Wait, was it 8-2?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. He assisted on one, right?
Not even. It was like a half assist. I don't even know if it's statistically counted as one. But come on, man. He played 90 minutes and he couldn't get a goal.
Yeah, but I mean, he obviously was doing something right.
No, just I'm tired of him. I'm done with him. No, I'm kidding.
Hopping off the hype train.
No, not quite yet. I really want to see him. I'm really excited to see him in these later parts, like in these big games in the Champions League going forward, because right. Dortmund did advance.
And he seems to have cemented himself as a key player in the team.
Yeah, no matter who's injured, it doesn't really matter. I think Pulisic is an important player.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, our next segment is Top 5 Americans Abroad. My brother's going to go through what he thinks were the top 5 American performances from the weekend in countries besides the U.S.
All right. So, number 5, Jaboli Aribi started and played the entire match for Chesterfield in the championship as they won 3-2 over Bristol Rovers. Apparently, he looked absolutely fantastic. I wasn't able to watch the match, obviously, but he is an exciting young winger who could really be helpful for the U.S. national team going forward. Number 4, Timmy Chandler started and played 90 minutes in Eintracht Frankfurt's 2-1 win over Borussia Dortmund. Christian Pulisic did not start that match, but he did come on later. Timmy Chandler, solid outing for him. Number 3, Dwayne Holmes played 82 minutes and scored a goal in Scunthorpe's United 1-1 draw with Oxford United. That is in League 1 of the English Football League tier structure. And he's an attacking midfielder, also a young match. He was actually at the USA versus Scotland match in 2013. Yeah, 2013, that fall. And he is eligible for, I can't remember, is it England? But he's a young, exciting player who has stated his desire to play for the U.S. And then there's Perry Kitchen, captaining Hearts, and had an assist in their 3-0 win over Motherwell. And then his teammate Bjorn Janssen, the Norwegian-American from New York, scored 2 goals, his 3rd and 4th goal of the season for Hearts in that match as well. That is my top 5 for this week.
Yeah, things are looking pretty good right now. Jurgen Klinsmann out. Bjorn Johnson scoring. It's great.
And Perry Kitchen linked with some moves to Derby County in the championship. So that might be something that happens.
Yep. All right, one more piece of news that I wanted to talk about before we end this. Let me ask you a question first, Neil.
Okay.
Who do you think is the best MLS DP signing ever?
The best in terms of what?
I mean,
just overall.
In terms of what they provided for their club. I mean, not like best player in their peak or anything like that. I'm not talking about like David Beckham.
Okay, so technically David Beckham was the first DP. Technically.
Yeah.
Because, well, it's hard not to say David Beckham because of what he did for MLS. I mean, then there's also, there's Landon Donovan. But, I mean, I'd have to go with Sebastian Giovinco. I think...
You don't think... You're not going to put Robbie Keane in that list? That short list?
Oh, you know what? I forgot about Robbie Keane.
When I meant signing, I kind of meant, like, a broad signing. Or, like...
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, Landon Donovan, I wasn't really thinking... Because he just had the big contract. But, like, Robbie Keane did it for many years. And was, the captain.
Yeah. That actually... Robbie Keane... I think Robbie Keane is right up there. I think when it's all said and done, Sebastian Giovinco will be the best DP signing. Well, maybe not when it's all said and done, because who knows what happens to that rule. But
maybe.
Yeah.
And we pray to God that this doesn't happen, but Christian Pulisic.
Yeah, or like Cristiano Ronaldo. But I think
that would be bad.
I think Jovinko, just because of what he has done to a team like Toronto, has to be there. But Robbie Keane, unfortunately, leaving L.A., leaving the Galaxy along with Steven Gerrard, who's retiring from football. We never even said anything about that, but that's because I'm an Everton fan and I don't really care that much. But he is a legend and he's retiring. But Robbie Keane leaving. Apparently, he has an offer on the table from Atlanta United. So I
heard he was going to the A-League. But
is he?
I don't know. I kind of hope so.
You don't want him? Why? You don't want him to go to Atlanta?
I don't want him to stay in the States. I want him to always be known as a galactite.
A Galactico?
Well, yeah. Real Madrid 2017.
Yeah, he's also been linked with Reading, actually. So he could be Danny Williams' teammate pretty soon.
That would be exciting. Yeah. But I don't see how this would make his career any better on a personal level. I mean, I would rather just stay with LA. But maybe it provides Landon Donovan a bigger role next year.
Reading are in third place, so they could be in the Premier League next year.
Sure, but I mean, what? I don't know. But do you think that? I mean, yeah. Like I said, you said they're losing both Gerrard and Keane. Landon Donovan, he's going to be more important than ever next year.
Yeah, and Bruce Arena might call him up.
Do you want to see him? Do you want to say that you saw his last appearance?
Oh no, I don't care about that. I mean, we missed most of it anyway because of traffic.
Screw you, Hartford.
Yeah. But I don't know if I want to see him. If he can still contribute, then yeah, I'd love to see him. I mean, maybe he's in January camp.
I don't know. That's so weird to think about. I mean, Bruce Arena is going to be a little bit biased, obviously.
Yeah.
But is he going to be that biased?
LA, it'll be interesting to see where LA goes from here. They lose Bruce Arena, they lose Steven Gerrard, they lose Robbie Keane. So that's 2 DPs gone. It'll be interesting to see who they bring in. I mean, maybe Wayne Rooney is the one.
Have there been rumors about that? I feel like I have heard that.
Yeah, there have been, yes.
Okay. So now, I have a bold prediction about the U.S. men's national team.
Okay.
In 2022,
yeah.
Do you know what player is going to be there? It's going to be like a Kyle Beckerman type bring. Like Kyle Beckerman was brought to the 2014 World Cup. Breck Shea.
So not in 2018, but in 2022.
Nope. 28 is too young. 32, he's going to come in and hold down the midfield.
He's going to hold down the midfield?
Yeah, he's going to be like a very defensive-minded outside midfielder. That sounds awful for exciting soccer, but...
All right. Well, we'll see. We can... Episode 64 of the Soccer Brothers podcast, Sahil Qatar calls it.
You like Breck Shea, though, right? You gotta love Breck Shea.
Yeah, he's all right. I mean...
Great. Now I can't be on the podcast.
Of course
we love everyone.
I love Breck Shea. I love everyone. You're right.
All right, we have...
Jurgen. Maybe I'll ask Jurgen to come on the show.
Nah, even if he wanted to be on the podcast, I wouldn't let Jurgen be on the podcast.
That's just not true.
Definitely true.
Okay.
We have an email for this podcast. It's SoccerBrothersPodcast@gmail.com. Our Twitter and Instagram handles are @SoccerBrothersPod. You can check us out on Facebook as well. We are on Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, Podkicker. So if you're listening through SoundCloud off Twitter, make sure to go subscribe to one of those more reliable offline places. And review or rate us on those platforms as well.
Definitely check out our website as well, SoccerBrothersPodcast.com. We're finally indexed, so if you search for us, it'll show up. But go check us out there. All of our episodes will be there as well.
And we'll see you next time on episode 65 of the Soccer Brothers Podcast.